Make your way to your mat, and we'll begin in child's pose. Sink the hips back onto the heels and extend the arms out in front, relaxing the forehead down to the mat. You have the option to keep the knees a little bit closer together, breathing more space into the low back, or maybe you keep the big toes together and take the knees wide, getting a little bit more into the hips. Wherever you are, start to check in with your breath. Really take a moment to settle into your space, to fully arrive on your mat, and let go of whatever else is happening today, whatever else you have to do later. Maybe you take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. A big part of practicing yoga is learning to have more intention with not only our movement and our breath, but to take that intention off of our mat and let it spill into our actions in everyday life. So when you set an intention, sometimes simple can be better. So maybe your intention is simply to stay present for the next few minutes. Maybe it is simply to stay aware and connected to your breath. Whatever it is, remember that this time is just for you. When you're ready, pull yourself forward and find your way to tabletop. Take a moment to spread the fingers, stack the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. On your next inhale, drop your belly, gaze up, lift your tailbone for cow. And on your exhale, push the mat away, round your back, chin to chest for cat. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. And exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Move through 2 more with your breath. And then find your way back to a neutral spine. And start to walk the hands away from the knees. So hips stay stacked over the knees, but walk the hands out and drop the armpits down to the mat, coming into puppy pose. Maybe the chin rests on the mat, maybe the chest comes to the mat, or maybe not. You have the option to keep the palms flat or tent the fingers to find a little bit more space. Gaze is forward, hips are high, and just breathe space into the front of the body and into the upper back. Take one more breath here. And then walk the hands backwards, sink the hips all the way back, finding child's pose. Maybe you take another scan of the body here, noticing any points that might feel a little bit sticky, any spots of tension that you might be holding on to. And as you flow, just try to send breath to those spaces. Try to just let it go. From here, pull yourself forward, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Find your first down dog. Really take a moment to get a good foundation here, spreading out the fingers, relax the heels down towards the ground. If they don't reach the ground, that's okay. Take one full breath. And then on an inhale, lift the heels, rising up onto the toes. Gaze forward as you take tiny steps all the way to the top of your mat, finding forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart. Try to distribute the weight evenly through all four corners of your foot and let your head hang heavy. Bend the knees so that the stomach rests on the thighs. And maybe you find a little bit of movement here, swaying side to side. Maybe you shake the head yes, shake the head no. And just breathe space into your spine. From here, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone. Going slower than you want to go, roll all the way up to standing. Stand tall through the crown of the head. Make the core tight, pulling the ribs in. Hands are by the sides, palms face forward, mountain pose. On an inhale, lift the arms overhead. And on your exhale, sink the hips low, finding chair pose. Get strong through the legs here. Keep the ribs pulled in. And if this is challenging on your shoulders, you can always bring the hands together at heart center. Imagine that you're going to rip the mat apart with your feet. And on your next exhale, come forward into forward fold. On an inhale, fingertips come to the shins, rise up halfway, flat back. And then exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step back, coming into high plank. Take a moment here to make sure that the shoulders are over the wrists, core is tight, ribs pull up and in. Lower the knees to the mat, and then keeping the elbows by the sides, lower all the way down onto the stomach. Using your back body strength, peel the head and the shoulders up off the mat, coming into cobra pose. Legs stay strong, maybe the hands flow off the mat. On an exhale, lower all the way back down. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, get strong through the core and the legs, press all the way up, high plank. Acknowledge the pose and then send your hips up and back to find down dog. Take 2 full breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Tuck the tailbone, bend the knees, and roll all the way up to stand. From here, step forward with your right foot, coming into warrior one. So imagine your feet like railroad tracks. So right foot is a little bit off to the side. Turn the back toes out at about a 45-degree angle. So both feet are flat on the floor. And then bend the front knee, sinking low, but make sure that the front knee stays behind the toes. So knee can stack over the ankle or maybe a little bit behind, but never in front. So again, this is your warrior one. Pull the ribs in, stay strong through the crown of the head. And then you have the option to clasp your hands behind your back. Breathe space into your chest as you press the palms together. And then release your hands and step your back foot forward, coming into mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale, sit the hips low, finding chair pose. Take a full breath here. Inhale, grow tall through the crown of the head. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step back to high plank. This time, option to lower halfway down and then come onto the tops of the feet, straighten the arms for up dog, and then roll over the toes for down dog. Take one full breath here. And then start to walk the hands in towards the feet. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone. Going slower than you want to go, roll all the way up to stand. This time, step forward with the left foot, coming into warrior one on the other side. So again, left foot is a little bit off to the side from the right foot. Back foot turns out to a 45-degree angle. Bend the front knee, ribs pull in, stay tall through the crown of the head. Clasp the hands behind the back. This time, clasp them the way that feels weird, so the opposite way. And then roll the shoulders back. Maybe you gaze up as you breathe space into your chest. Unclasp the hands, step the back foot forward, finding mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, get strong through the legs as you sit the hips low, finding chair pose. Roll the shoulders down the back, keep the ribs in. And on your next exhale, come forward, finding forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to shins, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step back through high plank. Lower halfway down, chaturanga. Lift the chest, straighten the arms, up dog. And roll over the toes, coming back into down dog. Take a moment here to check your foundation, check your spacing. When you're ready, walk the hands towards the feet. Tuck the tailbone. Roll all the way up to mountain pose. Step forward with the right foot, finding warrior one. Take a moment to really solidify your foundation. And then clasp your hands behind your back. Opening the chest, rolling the shoulders down. Option to stay here, or maybe you lean forward, bringing the chest to the inside of the front leg for humble warrior. Try to press the palms together as you lift the hands away from the back, intensifying the stretch through the chest. When you've had enough, slowly come out, rise back up, warrior one. Release the hands, step the back foot forward into mountain. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, sit the hips low for chair. Bring the hands to heart center. And then twist to the right, hooking the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Press the palms together, finding a chair twist. Try to keep the knees in line here, really twisting from your core. Staying strong on the inhale and twisting a little deeper on the exhale. When you've had enough, come back through center and then exhale to forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step back to high plank. Option to take your vinyasa, and we'll meet back in down dog. Preparing for that sequence on the other side, start to walk the hands backwards towards the feet. When you arrive, tuck the tailbone round through the back as you roll all the way up to stand. Step forward with the left foot, finding warrior one. Take a moment to settle in. Ribs are in. Stand tall. Get strong through the legs. Clasp your hands behind your back the way that feels weird. And open the chest. Maybe you stay here. Or maybe you lean forward, taking the upper body to the inside of the front leg, finding humble warrior. Press the palms together as you breathe space into the front body. And when you've had enough, slowly rise up and release the hands. Step the right foot forward, coming into mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale, sit low to chair. Bring the hands to heart center, and then twist the upper body to the left, hooking the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh. Pressing through the palms to help you twist deeper. Again, trying to keep the knees in line here. Getting a little bit deeper with each exhale. When you've had enough, come back through center and then find your forward fold. On your inhale, rise up halfway, flat back, and exhale to fold. Plant the hands and move your way, meeting back in down dog. On an inhale, lift the right heel high. Exhale, step forward in between the hands. Come up onto the fingertips, and then lift the arms up overhead, rise up, high crescent lunge. Inhale, grow tall. And on your exhale, spin your back heel down to the ground, open your arms, find warrior two. Gazes over the front middle finger, shoulders away from the ears. Sink low into your front leg, knee stacks over the ankle. And front heel should be in line with the middle of the back foot. Back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. Flip the front palm, reach up as you lean back, reverse your warrior. And then cartwheel your hands down to the mat, framing your front foot. Step back through high plank and move your way, meeting back in down dog. Inhale the left heel high. Step forward in between the hands. Come onto the fingertips. And then arms overhead, rise up, high crescent lunge. Inhale, grow tall. And on your exhale, open the arms, spin the back heel down to the mat, find warrior two. Once again, back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat, front heel is in line with the middle of the back foot. Relax the shoulders, pull the ribs in, and sink low in the front leg. Flip the front palm, reach up as you lean back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Use your core strength to step back through high plank. Option to take your vinyasa, and we'll meet in down dog. When you arrive, lower the knees down to the mat, and then sit to one side, bring the feet around, finding a seat. Extend both legs straight out in front of you. Remove the flesh from the sits bones. And flex the toes towards the face. If you're a little tighter through the hamstrings, you have the option to place a block underneath you for a little added height. And then inhale the arms up overhead. And on an exhale, fold forward. Maybe the hands come to the shins, maybe the ankles, or maybe the bottoms of the feet. Relax the head here and try to find some ease in this pose as you breathe space into the hamstrings. When you've had enough, slowly walk the hands in, coming back to a sit. And then scoot forward a little bit and roll one vertebra at a time, coming onto your back. When you arrive, hug both knees into the chest, hands are on the shins. Maybe you make some circles with your knees in one direction, and then in the other direction. Take both hands to the right shin and extend the left leg straight out to the mat. Extend the right arm out to the side. And then using your left hand, take your right knee up and over your body, coming into supine spinal twist. Gaze is over the right hand, imagining that both shoulders will stay on the mat. Again, try to sink a little bit deeper in your twist with each exhale. Finding ease in your pose as we start to cool down the body. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring both knees back into the chest. Maybe you take a few rock and rolls here, maybe some more circles with the knees. And when you're ready, hug the left knee to the chest and extend the right leg straight out to the mat. Left arm extends out to the side. Use the right hand to bring the left knee up and over the body, twisting the opposite direction. Really try to relax the left shoulder down to the mat. Finding ease in your twist. Slowly come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. If there are any other poses that your body is craving, feel free to take those now. And then extend both legs down to the mat Bring the arms out to the side and start to relax and find your way into Shavasana. Really take time to get comfortable here. Tuck the chin just a little bit so that your neck stays long. Take up as much or as little space as you need. Relax your face, letting your eyes sink into their sockets. Let go of your conscious breath. And let gravity help you feel really heavy. Let gravity help you sink into the mat as you find your way into stillness. Try to stay here for at least 5 minutes. As always, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Namaste.